Hi, this is Joy Pugh, and I'm here with Geoffrey Collymore of Filmmakers Focus, and we are live, or we are taping in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, New York.
Hello, Joy.
How are you today, Geoffrey?
Doing great. Finally get to experience what this whole guest thing is.
Excellent. Today we are asking Geoffrey about, or talking to Geoffrey about his bio. And so, Geoffrey, how did you get started?
Um, my second career, which is film and television. I went out to California back in '04. Really started it in Georgia. Went back to college in media and then transferred out there to Columbia College, Hollywood, and got a combined film and television degree. And I was gonna, this was it. I'm gonna do what I enjoy. I'm gonna go all out, and I'm gonna be happy. And because I operate best that way, I've discovered. So that was the beginning.
Okay, well, how did you end up you were in California, you were taking classes.
Yes.
Um, Tell us about the BET Awards. I read about that.
Yes, the original show of Filmmakers Focus, which was an in-studio school project originally, it came about because in film schools, if those few people who were spending your money, you're better off kind of like go and do your own film. You'd be better off, but they pitted us against each other. There was very few pieces of equipment to actually film with. You're begging teachers. It was. I guess they were trying to create a situation where this is what Hollywood is like, but for you have to get your feet wet and feel that you're creative before you can get that, I think, Hollywood experience, and that's what I thought film school was going to be. In this case, they didn't have a promotions or marketing. So how do you, once you do your short film, who do you let know? You're just dealing with festivals, and that's just the beginning of it. You've got to contact agents. You've got to contact so many other people. So this show was born of promoting, because now you have a copy of it, and it was longer, half-hour show. And it ran on community cable stations throughout Los Angeles and in the Bahamas. And they have a Channel 12, local cable station there. And so everyone would have their own show, and they would be able to kind of like pass it around like a resume. It was part of their resume. And you could put in clips there, and, people could find out a lot more about you. So that's how we got to this point, the beginning.
Okay, and you won a Telly Award?
Yes, I submitted this show. We'd done like 4 episodes, and I submitted a show to the Telly Awards, and it won. And that really got some notice. We got some really good guests. Deborah Pratt, who... an actress, she was on Airwolf, and she didn't get credit. An uncredited co-creator of Quantum Leap.
Oh, yeah.
And her career goes back to Dean Martin days, where she was a showgirl in Las Vegas, and she's done some novels, and then we went to the BET Awards. Our last show was the BET Awards, 2005, and got to be on the red carpet with everyone, Entertainment Tonight, Associated Press, the whole thing.
Who was your most memorable interview at the BET Awards?
Oh, for me. I was standing next to the hostess, was Ike Turner, which was a complete shock. And then you got Omarosa from Apprentice, and Magic Johnson was there. Didn't get to interview him, but close enough. So it was a very nice event.
Interesting. And I read that you worked with Robert Townsend.
that opened me up because once you graduate, now you've got to get into the business if you haven't already done so, and someone has to open up the door for you. In this particular case, Robert Townsend opened up the door for me, and which I was his assistant on a couple when he directed a couple episodes of South to Nowhere, and so I got to see how that worked and that whole experience.
Interesting. So how long did you stay in California?
I was there about 7 years, 7 to 8 years, and about 4 years ago, the recession kind of like hit. They started switching to reality television. A lot of everyone was out of work, and that was kind of like the real beginning. And I said, well, look, I could either sit here and bitch and complain with everyone else, or actually go and do something. So I wanted to be happy, and so I decided to go sell everything and go to the Bahamas, sell the car, everything, all possessions, and went to Nassau, lived at Cable Beach Manor, which backyard was the beach. I had an efficiency, which in New York is a 1-bedroom, and probably same price. Well, I think it'll be a little bit more here, believe it or not. So it was like $950 a month I was paying, but it was great. There was just nothing bad about it.
Wow. Now, who did you work with in the Bahamas?
Well, I started up my own advertising and marketing firm once I discovered that getting into a business down there, they have 3 television stations, one government, one private, 2 private. The other one is Bahamian owned and the other is Canadian owned. And they own the cable situation there. There's only one cable station, cable company down there so far. I think there's supposed to be another one. Bahamas is 700 islands and some privately owned. But I couldn't get it. It was very difficult getting in, so I decided to open up my own company, me, CEO, and employee. And first client was Rita Marley of the Marley Resort, and did some shooting there for, it was the 30th anniversary of Bob Marley's death. And so we did I was there for the whole day. There was a whole big thing from morning to evening. And that was very interesting. And got to really get a chance to know Miss Marley a little bit, because she had to review my work and everything. So I had tons of footage that we had to go through. And so she liked it. She liked what I had done.
So what brought you to New York?
I was supposed to work on a political show. I'd created it and sold it to the backer, and waiting on actually doing it. It was going to be like The View. Down in the Bahamas, the rock stars down there are the politicians. They are huge. And so they have elections coming up in May, this May 7th, I believe. So this is about in October. And they have no televised political shows hosted by women. So I thought 3 women, different ages. We do live commercials. The first guest is a politician. Second guest is something dealing with the community. Third guest, a fluff piece. Boom, hour-long show, 1 week. Had it all figured out. We knew where we were going to do it. Well, October comes, November, December, and nothing is getting done. My mother gets ill, and then I make the decision to come back to New York City.
Very sorry about that. And you recreated or restarted Filmmakers Focus. And here we are, and you just completed a novel?
Yes. When I was down there in the Bahamas, there's a lot of time. Living on an island is not easy. The conveniences that we are so used to in bigger countries, you don't have down there. You have to get on a plane or have someone in a plane get you certain things. Otherwise, things take so long to go through mail. Also, the same places they get old, and you need to stay away so that you come back to it after a period of time, and it's kind of new. It's not, you can tolerate it. So within that time, I focused on writing this book, in part of my own sanity and getting used to island life. And this book is based on a screenplay I wrote in 2002. I wrote many different versions of it, and called Thieves' Paradise. Takes place in the Caribbean. It wouldn't work unless I was Joel Silver or some big producer. It wasn't going to be made into a film, so I liked the idea and explored it, and to the point where the characters, it can continue on into another novel or something else. And so I finished that in September, and then when I came back up here, I needed something to do, and I wanted to be happy, and so Filmmakers Focus came up again, and it just seemed to kind of like kick off where people were interested in hosting and being a guest. And so we're at this point now where I like to look at it as level 1. So level 2, we're going to take it to another platform. So hopefully this is the end of level 1.
Okay, well, I'm just curious for our final question, what level 2 is and where do you hope to ultimately end up?
Level 2, the channel, since we're focused on YouTube channel, I want to do many other types of shows. I want many people to have a chance at doing their own thing, whether it's sketch comedy, whether it's coming up with a pilot of some sort and shooting it and just getting it on so that they can have it and, of course, send it, because everyone has access to the clips, and it has their name on it, and I've entitled it and everything and given the correct credit as needed, and that's all discussed up front. So doing all these different types of shows, definitely want to do shows on fashion, which is so big, that industry, and there are so many other industries that are not touched on that we kind of ignore that we need, that we could, shed light on and talk to the people involved. So those would be different programs. So basically, when you come to the channel and you'll see something that interests you, that's the overall plan for the channel. Now, as for me, hopefully this will springboard either the book and or me as a producer, a writer, and so we'll see how that all works out. I can direct too, but we'll see how that all turns out.
Okay, well, we're here. This is Joy Pugh once again, and with Geoffrey Collymore, our future super producer, director, writer, and we're